Aloha! Welcome to the Curvature Amateur. My name is Louis Montagne, and I will show you how we have curvature on our Earth. And the curvature doesn't necessarily mean we live on a ball in Earth. So let me show you some of my very first footage I ever got with my Nikon P900. But first, let me explain to you what I was looking at. I was standing up at the in Bridgeport, Connecticut, in a little town called Lordship, little peninsula, right here. Okay, this in 3D. Go see a little closer where I was standing, and I was about right there. By the Stratford seawall. And if we can see, it's a couple of people here. That's where I was standing with my camera. And the beach here is very flat. There's not any steps going out of the water. And the rocks here are, they're not stacked up very tall. So my camera eye stands about 10 feet above the sea level here. Okay? And as I'm making my video, I'm panning out from north to south, looking across the Long Island Sound. Okay. And as I did so, to my surprise, I saw something I didn't expect on that day. Even though I already had a clue of what was going on before. It's a long story, I'll tell you one of these days. But what we want to see is when we're looking at the long way of Long Island. Like that. This. And let's see how far this thing goes. Yoo-hoo. If we look at the long way of Long Island Sound, okay, what is there out there to be seen? There is New York City, the Big Apple. Okay, why do I have a bunch of little men? What I want to show you is the skyline of New York. Just a bit like that. That's too much. Just a bit like that. But it'd be nice to get a little bit more. Maybe like this. Okay? So what I want to show you here is a few skyscrapers sticking over the horizon. Just a handful, because there are hundreds of skyscrapers in New York City. And what I'm going to show you from my Nikon P900 is I saw a few skyscraper tops. But it might not seem so special to you, but just look at my video to see what I'm talking about. Okay? Let's go back in 2D. And what I'm going to do here is measure the distance of what I was observing to from where I was. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, so I was in Bridgeport, Connecticut here, Lordship, and I'm observing New York. Okay, let's measure this distance. Bridgeport. So we got 54 miles, okay? 54.40 miles if you want to be accurate. All right, why am I measuring that? Well, what I want to do is establish the curvature of the Earth, if there is such a way of doing that. So let's see how to calculate the curvature of the Earth. There are many websites that show us how to calculate it. Some do it for us, either in miles or in kilometers. But my favorite one is this one here, Curvature of the Earth by Math Central. Why do I like this one? Because it has a little drawing that represents the ball Earth, our planet spinning in space. Okay? And according to Robert the expert, who was asked by other people at all levels, how do you calculate the Earth in 1 mile? So you started off with 1 mile. And to be able to find the little height missing, we're not supposed to see anything below this height at 1 mile, okay? And started off with this number, the radius of the Earth, 3,963 miles. Okay, he didn't round up that number to 3,900 or 4,000 miles. It is 3,963 miles. Kind of accurate, isn't it? And he used the Pythagoras triangle of a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And in 1 mile, he figured out that we cannot see anything shorter than 7.98 inches, which is approximately 8 inches in 1 mile. Okay, but the formula to calculate the missing height, okay, is squaring this length, this distance. We have to square that distance in miles, and we have to multiply that by 7.98 inches to the foot. Calculator, please. All right, so we know the value of 2/3. 2 divided by 3 is 0.6 periodical, okay? And it's the same for 8 inches into a foot. You get the value of 2/3 of a foot, 0.6 periodical. So let's look at 7.98 inches in a foot, which is a little bit less than 2/3 of a foot, 0.665. Let's keep that number in mind to have some precision. Okay? So what I wanted to see, what's the distance we measured? We measured 54 miles, 54.4 miles. Okay, let's get back to the calculator. Okay, 54.4 miles. Okay, we square that number. We should have this number 2959, okay? We multiply that by 0.665, which is 7.98 inches to the foot. So we shouldn't be able to see anything below 1,967 feet tall at 54 miles from where I was. Because remember, my camera eye was at 10 feet over the sea level. Okay. Let's look at what they show us on Wikipedia about New York's tallest buildings. We have the list here. Takes a little second. All right, blah, 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 blah. Let's skip these details. You can kind of see them all lined up here. Number 1 tallest building in New York is the One World Trade Center. Okay, this one, they add a little precision here. Roof height is 1,368 feet. Okay, that's the roof height. The antenna brings it up to 1776. Okay, these 3 next ones here have a little asterisk next to them, which means that they are not. Indicate that the building is still under construction but has been topped out, so the height is there. Was it there 2 years ago when I took that footage? I don't know. This one here was done about then when I was taking my footage on my Nikon P900. This one is actually taller than the rooftop of the One World Trade Center. Yep, it is. This one is 1368. And this one is 1396. It's actually taller at the rooftop. And then we get this one, 30 Hudson Yard is 1,268 feet, 1,250 feet, the Empire State Building, and getting lower and lower. So there's nothing taller than what you see here. Okay, it keeps going down. The number 1 tallest building, number 13. Whoop, they skipped number 12 and they went to 13. That's weird. Usually they skip. Oh no, they're equal. Sorry, they're equal. Anyway, does it really matter? Not for today. That's not where we're looking at. Remember, the tallest one, the rooftop, is this one here at 1396. Okay? And remember our calculator? We should not be able to see anything below 1,967 feet. Okay, so I should not be able to see this rooftop, and neither of any other rooftops. Not even the tower. I mean the spear top of the One World Trade Center. Okay, bear that in mind. So, are those buildings elevated at all in New York City? What kind of grounds are they standing on? Let's go see on the elevation map here. In New York, Manhattan. Whoa. Need some hybrid. That's hybrid. Typographic. Or hybrid? No. Hybrid. There we go. Looks a little bit more natural. So let's look at the elevation grounds in Manhattan, around where all those tall skyscrapers are. So there's a bunch of here, around here. I know the One World Trade Center is somewhere around there. Elevation 30 feet. Okay, considerable. Okay, let's look a little further up. Elevation 26 feet. Okay, about here. Elevation 30 feet. Okay. So closer to Central Park maybe. Elevation 43 feet. Elevation 85 feet. About in Central Park. Elevation 82 feet. So you can see that 52, that Manhattan grounds are not that high up. Not much taller, not much higher than 80 some feet. Okay? You get the point? There's no hills in Manhattan so much. Alright? Here. Alright, so let's go see what I'm talking about. So here's the Stratford Seed Wall in Lordship, Connecticut. And let's see what I got. It's a long video. I'm not going to show you it in its entirety, but I want to show you some important details. Skip along. Okay, let's see right here. So as I'm looking northeast across the Long Island Sound, okay, you can see the treetops, and then we don't see anything more. Is that the Atlantic Ocean that way, straight out that way, or we actually have a curvature, curving waters hiding, eclipsing the other side of the Long Island Sound. Then I'm panning, going down towards the south, going down towards NYC. Okay, this is the Port Jefferson, not Fort Jefferson, Port Jefferson, across in Long Island. Ferries going across, sailboats. That was around the 4th of July. These are the Northport smokestacks. I have a whole video on those guys. Okay, let's get this out of the way. Okay, so as I'm panning, keep on panning out from north to south, going towards New York City. Keep looking across the Long Island Sound. Okay. Sorry, a little bit too much action here. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Whoop. I'm looking towards New York City. Did you see any big gap of water looking towards New York City? Flat earthers? No, it's basically land. There's only a small river separating Long Island from Manhattan, so there's not much of an island. It's mostly peninsula. So here we have land disappearing, and we have water. So the water, the curving water, is eclipsing the other side. Okay? So let's keep looking. Sorry if I move. You can see a lot of atmospheric refraction, kind of making the image wobble. Okay? It doesn't really bend like water refraction when you look into a cup of water in your swimming pool. Okay, so let's keep on looking. Okay, I didn't know what I was looking at that moment, so there's a nice sailboat, but be patient. It's coming right up. Be patient. Okay, here we go. What is this thing sticking up here? Does it look like a boat to you? A telephone pole? Is it? I didn't know what I was looking at. I didn't even see that when I was panning out, panning left to right. Okay, so you see that image here. To me, it looks like a spire. Oops. It looks like a spire. All right. Let's keep on looking. Wobbly, I'm not too sure what I'm looking at. Oh, is that the same one? Or it's another one? Because I know there are many spires in New York. Whoa, what about this thing here? That's pretty hard to miss, isn't it? Doesn't that look like a skyscraper to you? You can see two walls. This one is getting hit by the morning sunlight, and this one is in the shade. Okay, you can clearly see the squareness of the rooftop. And you can see the atmospheric refraction making the image wobble. It's not making it bend, because it's like the air is gas, it's not liquid. So we can see a skyscraper, aren't we? Am I tricking anything here? No, I am not. This is some pure footage of my Nikon P900, and I felt the need to zoom out just to show that I'm not tricking anything. And I zoom back in to see. You can't even see that with your naked eye, but if you zoom with a Nikon P900, voilà! Vous avez un gratte-ciel! All right. So that was on that day. And then I kept on looking for other things, and I had other things to do in my day. My kids were calling out for me, so I didn't spend too much more time. So let's go see what I saw. The next morning I went a little bit earlier. You can see that the water is a little bit more flat. You can see the Northport smokestacks across the Long Island Sound here. And I'm not going to lose too much time looking across. I'm going to go look for what we were seeing the day before. Okay, here we are. We're losing the land, the site of the land across the Long Island Sound. And I'm looking over the Long Island Sound and its length south towards New York City. What will I see? Be patient, we're looking. Not easy to see. It's best to have a big screen to be watching this video. There's a bird. Oh, what do we have here? Is that coming from a boat? It looks like a spire. Maybe from the Empire State Building? Oh, looks like there's something else here. Do you see it? Do you see the spear? See something? Oh, something else is appearing. Maybe some fishermen out on the boat. You can see that they're wobbling as they're on a boat. But the spire doesn't seem to be wobbling at all. It's standing still. Alright, be patient. We're gonna go slowly across the horizon. Boat, you can see it's splashing waves at the top of the curvature. The curving waters. Everybody knows that water doesn't curve. No, just pick up a cup of water and look at where the water meets the glass. You see it's either curling up or it's curling down if the glass is still dry. So it does curve in your cup of water. Why wouldn't it curve somewhere else? It must be one of those flagpole that sticks out in the middle of the Long Island Sound just to show that it's a bit too shallow for boats to go there. And we're looking, keep on looking. It almost seems like something here. Hard to see. But yes, I do see something here. You see that? You just passed it. Gone. And I got more to show you. Be patient. Yes, we have to be patient to understand the world we live in. Does it matter to a lot of people what world we're living in? Go out and ask anybody if they really care what shape the earth is. And most of them will laugh at you. Tell them that the earth is flat, they'll laugh at you. Or they'll be convinced. Is the earth flat? Not necessarily. Go tell people we don't live on a globe, they'll be laughing at you. Say, hey, everybody knows we live on a globe floating in space. But what's the proof? Are we going to rely on NASA to show us people in a swimming pool? Or the CGI that they film in studio and then they paste onto some other background? How come you see them floating in a capsule, bouncing around, but they're not talking? And when they do answer an interview, they're not bouncing around. Looks like we got something right here. You see it? It looks like a skyscraper glaring some sunlight, some rising sunlight. Do you see that? Or is it me that's crazy? I know I like to be crazy every now and then, but as an old guy in my mid-40s with 5 kids, I don't feel like being crazy anymore. I don't feel like kidding people anymore. I feel like displaying the truth because it's what we can rely on. If we rely on a bunch of lies, even though we know they're lies, we just keep perpetuating lies by perpetrating people's minds. Sorry of my P pronunciations. Yes, I am French Canadian. Oh, here we go. Nice tall skyscraper. Nice and square. Almost looks like the same height and shape we saw the morning before. You see that? It's glaring some morning sunlight. And look at this one here. How clear that is. There is some of the image that's getting mirrored by the flatter water on that morning, because water doesn't always reflect like a mirror. It needs to be real flat and calm to do so. If there's any little waves, it's not going to look like a mirror anymore. So we have a nice square rooftop. You can see 2 sides of the building, and we can even see the antenna sticking up. How precise is that? You see the antenna bend with refraction? No, the atmospheric refraction, the gas in the air, the water molecule in the air, just make the image wobble, because it's not like liquid water, which would actually bend the image. It looks straight to me. So there we go. How come we're seeing those from 54 miles away? According to Robert the expert and his Earth calculations, we shouldn't be able to see anything below 1900 feet or so. What was the number? What was our math? 1967 feet. And we see rooftops that are below 1400 feet. Well, there's a few hundred feet missing here. Is that much? Are we still fitting on a globe? It's definitely not flat. But a globe? I don't think so. It doesn't feel like the Earth is spinning at all. Not to me. I'm sober. No medication for me. Anyway, that's what I wanted to show you for now. But don't worry, you can't just rely on this video to determine the curvature of the Earth, what kind of shape our Earth is. But I got a bunch more videos. Stay tuned. Thank you.